Hey everybody, today we're going to do something that's kind of interesting. This is a subject that's often overlooked, and that's how to do crystal clear storytelling every time. So I have a little setup that I've created to illustrate that, and I'm going to go through that rule, the rules of clear storytelling, and then we'll come back to this page right here and just to discuss how those rules apply. Okay, what I have here right now is a little interesting setup to try to illustrate something called the 180-degree rule. They use it in movies, but you should use it in comics too. And the idea is that you can't, when you're taking, doing a story with characters, you don't want to cross the 180 degree right here. I call it the action axis. Some people call it the action axis. And the idea, the best way to understand it is to think of what I've got done here. Have an audience and have your actors on the stage. And the idea is never go behind the stage. Always stay on the audience side. So you can move in for, your cool close-ups. You can go do up shots, dramatic up shots, low shots, bird's eye view, pull back. Any angle, any creative angle you can think of, any way you want to tell that story. But never, never go behind the stage. Because I'll show you what that looks like in just a second here. Okay, let's see. We got the actors, and Ming is on the left, and Flash Gordon is on the right. Now they should always be that should always be the case. So I'm going to show you what happens when you break that rule. So watch carefully. 1, 2, 3. There. Do you see that? It's a little confusing, wasn't it? A little disorienting. Because I switched sides, the characters appear to magically switch places. And that's a no-no in movies, but it's also bad in comics because your stuff will be not clear. You'll confuse the reader. You'll disorient them. So don't do that. Avoid that at all costs. And if you do, just follow these rules, these simple rules, then you'll have really interesting storytelling, but really clear. So don't do this. Now you can do this if you're shooting a film and you move it like that because people see what's happening. But if I just do this and go 1, 2, 3, there. Well, see, that's not good. You got confused. You never ever want to remind the reader that they're reading a story or watching a movie or anything like that. You want them to have a seamless experience, really clear and really easy to understand. So let's now take a look at the comic book pages and see how this actually applies. Okay, now here we go. Now here's a page I just sort of set up that illustrates really clearly the 180-degree rule, action axis. The first thing I did is set the stage. The stage is the background. There's this guy running through the, through the landscape like that. And then, now it's important to see that he's going from stage right, running from stage right to stage left. Same thing in this one. Even though it's close up and I've changed the angle, it's still, he's moving, he's looking, stage right to stage left. Same with this one. And even with this one, he's still moving from this side to that side. And finally, in the last frame, he's still going in that same direction. And that is clear. That's clear storytelling. No one's going to be confused about what's going on. So let's try breaking the rules and see what happens. So I'm going to take this last panel, I'm going to flip it. Now suddenly, it looks like, oh, I forgot something on the stove or something. I got to go back. It looks like he's changed directions,
And that's going to disorient the reader. Now, the reader will figure it out. They'll look and they'll go with the dialogue and say, "Oh, he's still going in that, in the same direction. It just changed the angle." But in their mind, they're going to be thinking that something's off. That he looks. They're going to see it as if as they're showing it here, that it's going in a different direction. He's moving across. He's going back off the stage in the way it came. So that's what you don't want to do. And if you just do it right, it's clear. If you do it wrong, it becomes unclear and confusing and disorienting. Now let's try moving the middle panel too. I'm going to try that. This one's pretty awful too. Now it looks like this guy's running back and forth. Visually, that's what's happening. He's going this way, then running, and he's running. Oh, it changes direction. Oh, I forgot something. Oh, looks like he keeps changing his mind, which is crazy. And it doesn't help the story. It just hurts the story. You want to stick with one direction, and there you go. So let's try another one here. Okay, setup, establishing shot, show the scene, the atmosphere. By the way, that's why I think that's another thing for clear storytelling, is to do an establishing atmosphere shot to show your setting. Like you wouldn't, because naturally that's the way you tell a story. I wouldn't just say, "The guy said, get out of the way, I'm first." You'd be like, "What are you talking about? What's going on?" You'd have to say, "Hey, I was at the grocery store the other day, and there was a long line of people. I was in a long line of people, and some guy this big guy cut in and said, 'Out of my way, me first.'" Now, I did what, that's natural storytelling. You set the scene, you set the stage, you introduce your actors, you tell the time. It was yesterday at the grocery store, and then this big guy comes in and says, "Out of my way." Now that's crystal clear. So I do that in comics too. I can't stand it when people do that in novels too. They start out novels with dialogue. Tell me where I'm at. Tell me the way you would naturally tell a story. And in comics, that's the best bet, in my opinion. So I set up a scene, establishing scene, the city. Now you're obviously going inside in the room. These two guys are coming in and confronting this guy. He's clearly yelling at him. They're mad at him for something, and he's kind of trying to argue back about something else. And it's pretty clear they're going towards him. The direction he's stage right, they're stage left. They're pointing towards him. They're still pointing towards him. He's looking back at them. And now they're still arguing with him. So let's try messing up this wonderfully clear storytelling and see what happens. Okay, so that's not too bad. You would kind of figure that out, but it's still a little bit disorienting. Like, what are you doing there? What's that? Now this one is the one that really shows you. Hang on a second. Okay, actually not that one, but we'll do this one too. Now here it really shows what breaking that rule does. These guys are coming in, and it looks like he's turning and looking at someone off camera, off stage left. But he's not. So then he's turning around and he's pointing. Again, your mind in telling the story, you will figure this out because I've drawn it fairly clearly, fairly realistically. But it's just why? Why would you break the rules? Why would you break that incredible flow that you have? So don't do it. Just follow the rules, and your storytelling is much, much easier. This guy, even here, he's looking in the wrong direction. It's a little confusing, a little disorienting. Keep it as is. And it's a crystal clear storytelling page. Very, very good. Okay. And people break these rules all the time, by the way. It's so frustrating when I see it. I'll be reading a comic book and I don't know what's going on. Like, I can't even follow it. And it's because they're not following. They didn't set up a stage and shoot it like a film or a TV storyboard or whatever you would do. I do TV storyboards, and you have to follow these rules, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. So it works in comics, it works in movies, and it's really something to pay attention to, and it really will improve your storytelling. It really make it because you want a really easy, effortless experience for your reader. If you don't do that, you're just hurting yourself. the other thing I'm going to show you, just to kind of cement it in, like we see things in a certain way. I've got a picture here of an airline, just a plane going through the sky, through the clouds. Now, where would you think this is going? You think it's going from east to west. You think it's going from New York to California. If you're illustrating a comic book, you would do this. If you did this, you would be thinking, oh, it's going to Europe, going from America to Europe, or something like that. You wouldn't say, oh, in the story, oh, he's flying to France on France. You wouldn't say it's headed to California from New York. You would say this plane is going from New York to France, or something like that. If you did this and said, oh, this plane is going to France from New York, you would say, well, that doesn't make sense. It's weird. So we just sort of see things a certain way. We see things as if they're on a stage. Let's do another one just to get this in. Now, here's a wagon train going out west. If you were doing a play on a stage, or if you were doing a movie, or if you're doing a comic book, you would have it go from stage right to stage left. If you didn't, if you did, oh, he's going out west, you'd be like, wait a minute, what is going on? Where are we? You're confused. It doesn't make sense. So certain things just make sense in a certain way. And it's the same thing with the storytelling. You want it to be as clear as possible. And so I guess that's pretty much it. If you have a friend if you can share this is really, I would share it with everybody, but you get someone who's sending you a comic book and it just, you can't follow it. It's not making any sense. Show this video to them if you can, and see if their storytelling doesn't improve, because people need to start thinking about their stories more clearly, setting up the scene, setting up the stage, and making it very, very easy to understand. And then I say, give it to your friends whose comic books are incomprehensible, and you'll be surprised if it comes back. The next effort comes back, and it's very easy to understand. Now, I see professionals just ignoring this rule too, so it's across the board, and it's a simple rule, and we've got to start making this common knowledge, because all the comic books are suffering because of this lack of the ignorance of this rule, which I learned, thankfully, many years ago when I first started my career from another comic artist named Rich Buckler. So my storytelling has always been clear because I was given this rule to follow, and it really, really made things very simple. It helped me too when I'm telling a story to arrange the shot and make it happen. So thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate you liking and sharing. The comments are awesome. I'm glad to see that people really are appreciating this no-nonsense kind of delivery of comic book instruction and tutorials. So I love the comments, and it keeps me inspired to make more of these. So comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Get the word out. Let people know. I really, really do appreciate it. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.